Okay, well, we are live. So I guess we will check and see. All right. Okay, so we have YouTube and we also have Facebook on here. So we should start seeing some chats in here from everybody and then some. So it should be cool. All right. Anyway, how are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully you're keeping yourselves occupied this lovely Monday. Um, we, we are surviving. No, we do property management. So the first week of the month is always a little bit hectic. Hectic would be the word. Um, so yeah, the first Monday of the month, and it's literally like the first day of the it's been a little bit crazy in here. So we had like so many people popping into the office when paying rent, which is great. I mean, they can pay online. They can do automatic payments. They can drop it off in the Dropbox. They can mail it. I mean, we try and make it as easy as humanly possible to pay your rent. But a lot of people just prefer to stop in the office and have their, their personal check and do it old school. So, hey, again, whatever, as long as you pay your rent, we're happy. So yeah, there was a lot of people that came in and did that today. So and of course, that's always when they remember that there is a maintenance issue that has arisen, that somehow they forgot over the course of the month. So it's not just, accepting the payment and getting them a receipt for that, but it's also, making sure that their property is taken care of and going over any issues they might have, or maybe they're turning in notice at the same time, or they want to do like a partial payment. So they have to get a workout agreement. I mean, there's just all sorts of stuff that happens this time of the month. So it's a little chaos at the front desk. It's a little chaos for our virtual assistant. It's chaos for bookkeeping and all the property managers. It's definitely chaos because all of them at the front desk in the front part of the office, they then contact the property managers. And of course, Monday is our property management meeting anyway. So we have all the property managers come in and we just kind of go over, I don't know, all of the stuff that's going on and make sure that nothing fell through the cracks because it's so crazy how quickly that can happen. And we want to make sure that we're just like one step above, like whatever everybody else is doing, we want to do one level up. We want to go above that. And then once we're like there and we're doing well in that, we're like, okay, how can we level up to the next? How can we give more? How can we do more? So we just kind of, we do that on Mondays and kind of talk it all out and everything. It's 1 hour once a week. They can all come in and do that. So yeah, mayhem. And then I have staff meeting and then getting stuff ready for the rest of the week, which is always kind of mayhem. So that is my Monday. Um, yeah, but just the first of the month, the first week of the month, the first Monday of the month, whew, a little brutal. But I'm sure you guys all have the same thing in whatever job you're doing. I have no doubt it's just as crazy. I mean, it's a Monday. So that's why everybody's like, oh, Monday. Great. I don't know why Garfield hated Mondays because he didn't work. He didn't work. So I'm not really sure. I always think of Garfield and how much he hated Mondays. I used to love those books, those comics and stuff. And yeah, no. Yeah, he didn't work. So I don't really get it. He had nothing to complain about. Like just get more sleep. It was really eat more lasagna, whatever. Everybody that doesn't love Garfield is probably like, "What on earth is she talking about?" It's a cat. It's a comic book cartoon cat, and I absolutely love Garfield, but whatever. I don't have any Garfield in here, but he's kind of anti-work, so it would be kind of, I don't know, counterproductive to have any Garfield in my office, but I do have a lot of signs. I don't know if, anybody that's watching, if you've been to my office before. We actually it started out small. It started out so small. with just a couple of little motivational signs in the bathroom. And it has taken on a whole new life of its own. I keep finding these signs everywhere. It's like a compulsion. If I find a funny or motivational sign, I have to get it and bring it to the office. And now the walls are peppered with them. They're not covered. It's not like wallpaper yet, but they are peppered. Which is funny because I mean, nobody needs to bring their phone into the bathroom with them here because you can just sit there and read the walls. And there's always something new because I'm always adding a little sign or whatever. So I just added some cats that were like, one said, "Have a seat, sweet cheeks." I don't know. I don't know. It's become a thing. So if you ever come to our office, please make sure and visit our bathroom. Even if you don't need to use the facilities, they're still pretty funny. But it started because I was just being lazy. I didn't want to have to repaint the bathroom because I really liked the color. It's like this really, really pretty gray color. And there's a lot of different shades of gray, y'all. Like this is okay, but it's not like this is like a taupe kind of gray. That's a really pretty kind of bluish gray, but not too blue. I really love it. Anyway, it's like a steel gray. Anyway, so but there was whoever had leased the unit before us, they had some marks on the walls. I guess they had something, they use those sticky tabs that are supposed to be like great for the walls that actually take out drywall when you take them off. Yeah. Anyway, so they had some of those, and my husband's like, "Oh, well, we'll just repaint." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. I'll just put a few signs up or whatever, and it'll be fine." And he's like, "They're in really random, weird places," and I'm like, "That's okay. It'll be fine." So then I put those up, and then it would like, they were in weird locations, so I just added a few more, and then it's kind of, I don't know, it snowballed from there. I ended up with just so many, so many. My favorite one, if I had to pick, is probably the one that is just above the toilet, and it's supposed to be for the kitchen. And it says, "Life is short, lick the bowl." And it's just the placement of it just tickles me every time I go in there. It just makes me smile. So I like it. Anyway, so yeah, that's our office. It's a little odd, a little different around here. There's a sign in the sales pit that's just above this mirror, and it says a picture of the most amazing real estate agent, and it's actually a mirror. So yeah, except for we got an agent that is maybe not quite as tall as the rest of us, and only the tip top of her head showed in it. So we had to adjust the mirror and make it more height friendly so that she could be an amazing realtor too. Oh, I know. It says this is what an awesome realtor looks like. That's what it is. Yeah. It's pretty sad. I literally walk by it 50 times a day. But anyway, so she's like, "I guess I'm not an awesome realtor." And I'm like, "I just need to adjust the height of the mirror, I guess." So anyway, hmm, sorry. So what questions do we have? I don't see any questions right at the moment. I don't know. Did you see that minimum wage is going up by $1 here in Florida? Yep. I think it takes effect on Saturday, last Saturday, next Saturday, one of those. So yeah, minimum wage is going up. So that's kind of interesting. Um, what else? What else? The student EBT cards that they were sending out for the summer, those, I think they're going to be a little over $100 for the summer per student. So if you have a student in public schools, you may want to check your balance on the PEBT card. This is not if you have if you get like food stamps or whatever. I know that's old school food stamps. You can tell. I was like way back in the day where it was actually little stamps for the food, but no, the little debit cards or whatever, those got sent out to like everybody basically. It's kind of crazy. So if you got one sent to you, you may want to check the balance on it because you might just end up with a little over $100 this summer for no accountable reason. It's just on there. It just loads itself up. So it's not anything that you have to enroll in or do or whatever. They just send it out if you have a kid in Florida with going to public school. So heads up on that. What else? What else is going on? There's a lady who is over 100 years old. I think she was like 104 or 105, and she just jumped out of an airplane. She wanted to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I would be so scared that I would break her. Like, I don't know who decided that that was a great idea to do a tandem jump with this lady. Um, and more power to her for doing it. I mean, I'm scared to death of like jumping out of an airplane. That would be really terrifying. But she jumped out of an airplane at 100. I mean, what could she possibly think? Like, oh no, I'm going to die. I mean, that sounds so brutal. But seriously, at 104, 105 years old, there's not a lot of fear going on there, I guess. I mean, it's just probably just a lovely view. So yeah, but yeah, she just recently jumped out of an airplane. I think she's up in Chicago or something. But yeah, she wanted to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, it's a good thing to do before you know, pass away or whatever. Wow, that's so morbid. Anyway, but I thought it was interesting. I got a big kick out of it, especially the picture of her jumping out of the airplane. But yeah, she's just like ready to go. I was like, yeah, I would still be scared. I would be so scared. Like, what if she had a heart condition? Like, who thought it was a good idea to strap Granny to yourself and jump out of a plane together? That scary. That's just scary. I don't know. But somebody did it because she's now apparently the oldest person who has skydived. Skydived. So I thought it was funny. So I figured I would share. So anyway, let's see what else is going on. I am doing an open house Saturday, October 21st over in Silver Spring Shores here in Ocala. So I just picked that date out. Um, what else? That will be over at 14 Hemlock Court Pass. If it's still available, of course, because it might not be. Don't know. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I don't know. There was like a private chat, so I clicked on that, and that's like if somebody sends me a private message, which I don't even know that that's available. But um, there's actually like a little chat thing over to the side too. So just a heads up. I don't know. So apparently you can post messages in YouTube, but apparently it's having issues with Facebook. Not sure. Anyway, so how is your October going so far? I know it's all of like 2 days. 2 days? It counts as 2 days, right? Um, I'm enjoying it so far. The weather is getting so nice. It is getting so nice. I am loving the new weather. Oh, yeah, it felt like the summer was just going to go on and on and on and on. I know everybody's supposed to love summer because kids are out of school and all that. We are not a huge fan of summer in Florida. It's hot, it's miserable. We basically just hang out inside, play board games, play cards, whatever, read a book, watch TV. Because it's too hot. It's way too hot. It's too miserable to go outside. So it's just pointless. So we all just kind of stay inside and hibernate for like 2 months. And then we get to go back outside. So it's kind of like your winters in some places, but in reverse. It's summer for us because our weather the rest of the year is phenomenal. Okay. Absolutely phenomenal. It starts cooling down in September and it's just awesome. By October, it's glorious. We love it. All of the clouds are gone and it's just green grass everywhere. I love October. October is great. And you can get pumpkin spice everything everywhere. So I don't even think you could grow a pumpkin in Florida. I'm not really sure. I know you can grow watermelon like crazy, but I don't know about pumpkin. Anybody know? And give it a go. Right now, I am growing a couple of avocado trees, and they're doing really well. I got one that's about as tall as I am, maybe a little bit taller, and another one that's only about yay big, and I'm fighting with it. I don't know why it's struggling so much, but I probably should have left it inside longer, and now it's struggling. So maybe I'll take it back inside. I'm not sure. The other one I left inside until it just became ridiculous to have this size tree inside the house. Plus, it started leaning over towards towards the window, and I felt bad for it. So, but yeah, I've got a couple avocado trees, and I'm about to plant my mums. I got some mums, but I have this big, huge planter that I had to put some. Um, I don't know. That's how I recycle. I put some empty water bottles and stuff in the bottom of it, and then you put the dirt on, and then you don't have to put as much dirt. But yeah, no, I've got my rosemary. Man, if you ever want to find the perfect place to grow rosemary without even trying, it's Ocala, Florida. You can grow rosemary so easily. You just kind of throw it at the dirt, and all of a sudden, poof, you got a big old, huge, massive bush of it. So I may have to actually like tackle down some of that rosemary because it is growing like a weed. It's insane. And my peppers are still growing like crazy. My flowers got kind of scorched. So now they may come back, but they did not appreciate late August at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Late August is hardest on the plants because um, it's really, really super hot, but it's also not as wet. So they don't mind July because it's pretty wet. But man, once August hits and it's dry and wet, no, that's a no-go for them. They're toast. So what else? I am compiling a couple of videos. One is about Gainesville because if you live in Ocala, you are going to go to Gainesville. It's not even a question. You will go there for some reason. It's kind of our sister city over there. So anything, I don't know. If you have to go to a pediatric hospital, it's in Gainesville. If you have anything super out of the norm, you're going to go to Shands in Gainesville. If you are a veteran, you can go to the clinic here in Ocala, which is lovely. But if you need to go to the hospital, it's in Gainesville. If you want to go to, what is that place? I love that. Oh man, it's that store that Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. There's the closest one is in Gainesville. So normally what happens is anytime we have to go to Gainesville for something else, while I'm there, we go to some fun restaurants that we don't have in Ocala. We go to Trader Joe's. It's just kind of you make a day of it, you know. Sometimes we'll go to the Realtor Association up there. My husband just went to the Realtor Association in Gainesville because they were having a class that had already happened in Ocala and he missed it. So he went to the Gainesville one. So while he was up there, of course, he went to Trader Joe's. You have to go to Trader Joe's when you're up there. It's like mandatory. But there's just some stores and stuff that are available there because it is a huge college town. It's a much larger city than Ocala, and it's only about, from me, it's about 45 minutes up the road. Um, our son, he had a cello instructor in Gainesville. Now, could he have gotten one in Ocala? Yeah, maybe. But he actually, that one helped him out with some connections and stuff. So he ended up in the Alachua County Youth Orchestra instead of the Ocala Symphony Orchestra. So, but you know, he did really well with that. He just had to end up going to Gainesville about twice a week. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. Our daughter wants to go to University of Florida. I don't know if she's going to because it's really hard to get in there. But she wants to go to UF, and hopefully she will be able to do that. But you know, that would be awesome because it's only 45 minutes up the road, and she says she wants to live on her own and, you know, do all of that, but at the same time she doesn't want to be so far as to make it difficult for her to come home or for us to go up and see her. So which I think is a great idea. So so I think she learned from Michael, our son. He went up to FSU up in Tallahassee, which doesn't sound like that far. It's only about 3 hours. Except for, you know, going to visit him in a single day, that becomes 6 hours of driving. So, you know, he wants us to go up there and do, you know, to watch the orchestra and choir performances and stuff like that. The same as when he was in high school, and it was like, yes, except for now you live 3 hours away. Crazy kid, we got to work. Like, Lexi's got school. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, and then sometimes it doesn't get out until like 10 o'clock at night. Well, okay. That's fun getting home at 2 a.m. Or then you got to try and find a place to stay up there. This weekend, it's parents' weekend. Good luck. There will not be a single hotel room to be found in the entire county up there. Forget it. You will not be able to stay in Tallahassee this weekend if you wanted to go there. You better just have something. And I think they're having a football game against Virginia Tech, I think is this weekend. So yeah, no, forget it. So for Gainesville, no big deal. We can just pop up the road. So anyway, so I did want to show some of the cities that are close by that are just, super easy to get to. You can just go in a day, go do whatever. Because they are. I mean, it's part of our life here to go pop over to Gainesville. So yeah, have some restaurants I wanted to share with you guys that are really amazing over there and what we like to stop in and go to and stuff. And of course, I don't show chain restaurants. It's just, little hidden places. But here in Ocala, we're comprising a list of the best of. So I've done the best of restaurants here, and that went over well. A lot of people commented on it, which is great. But we are wanting to do like our list of favorite, I don't know, everything. Because we live here, we work here. I want to give a shout out to the businesses that we really do use and like and all of that. And I've been part of those best of 352 or best of Ocala and stuff like that. And some of them are a total scam. You have to pay to participate in them. They will not consider you or your company if you don't pay for advertising it. I mean, it's just nonsense. So how can you really know if something's good or if they're just paying people off to get there? I mean, that's terrible. So I reached out to a few of the groups I'm in and stuff. I was like, all right, what are the categories? Like, what categories should we include in the best of that I'm going to do? Because it's not a popularity contest. It's just a straight up, what are the best places? So I'm going to do restaurants, and I was thinking like home stuff because best plumbers, electricians, all of that stuff. I want to put a best of together for that. My favorites, at least, that I've worked with for years and years. I don't know, what other stuff do you guys want? Because I don't want to do chains. So if you're like, oh, best shopping and it's Publix, well, yeah, no. I really want like local mom and pop shop kind of stuff. So maybe best doctor. That seems to be a question we get. Best dentist. But even that, there would be different categories for that too, because best dentist, and then what about your kid's dentist? What about orthodontics or, dentures or whatever, implants? I don't know, just kind of get some different ideas. But yeah, I wanted to give my list. So we'll see. You've heard of Angie's list. This will be Andrea's list. So yeah, if there's any categories of anything that you want on the list, let me know so that I can make sure and include that. Nobody's talking tonight. It's so quiet. Guys, what am I supposed to do? I could sit here and talk about anything and everything, but still, what if it's not what you guys want to talk about? What else? We were so swamped with property management last month, which is good because it was kind of slow with sales. It's one or the other. Either sales is super busy and property management is like okay, and then sometimes property management is super busy and sales is kind of like okay. So just kind of crazy. It's just one or the other. So we're busy all the time. It's just not necessarily in one particular thing. So somebody else was talking to me actually today. He does YouTube videos and stuff, and he was doing videos like this, and he was doing videos on like my video on how houses in Florida are built. I don't know, how much does it actually cost to live in Florida? Like all of those things. But he was really struggling with that. So he actually just stopped doing any of those videos and just does home tours. That's it. That's all he does. And his channel is like super popular. So I'm like, man, I guess we got to do more home tours if that's what you guys really want to see. Hello, Carrie. Carrie says, speaking of property management, have you heard of people leasing out rooms in their homes? Yeah. It's called Airbnb. Yeah, no, it happens all the time. My mother-in-law even did it actually. She's over 55, we'll say nicely. But she lived in a 55 plus community, and that actually happens a lot in 55 plus communities because they supplement their income that way and help pay their mortgage. It's not necessarily a roommate because a roommate is more like the whole house and everything's split 50-50. It's not. She was renting out a room, and that's what he got, a room and a bathroom and, kitchen privileges. Very, very, very different scenario than a roommate. It just kind of, it was her house, it was her rules. He got one shelf in the refrigerator, and I mean, it was a thing. But it worked. So she did that every winter for several years, actually. And it worked out well for her. So yeah, she would supplement her income by renting out a room because he only wanted to rent out a room for 3 months out of the year or whatever. But one year he actually rented out the entire house because he had family coming, and he said, I love the community and I love your house. Would you potentially rent out the entire thing to me for 3 months? And so she came and talked to us, and she's like, can I stay with you guys? And so she stayed with us for a few months, and he rented her house out, and then she didn't have to stress on the mortgage. So yes, I have absolutely heard of that. And sometimes it works out great. Other times people be crazy and it's a total nightmare. So that, I mean, we could vet him. We, did the background checks and all of this stuff. I mean, that was not an issue. Of course, we did that for her. But some people don't do that. And whether you're renting out an entire room or the whole house or what, you really do need to check into people. You really do. You need to. Not necessarily with like criminal. Of course, you want to run a criminal background check. I mean, if I used to do it on people I was dating, I wanted to know, man. So, uh, but yeah, I mean, somebody that you're going to be living with, it's pretty serious. So yeah, running checks on all of that, running, credit, all of that, credit, criminal, landlord references, that would be a good thing. Income verification, those are the basic ones that we do. But it's really weird that people that are renting out a room don't think to do all of that stuff. And I would highly recommend doing it. I used to rent out rooms for years. I basically lived without paying anything. It was great. So I had a 3-bedroom house, and I rented out 2 of the rooms. So I got the master, and I had my own private bathroom, and then the other 2. What's weird is you actually get traveling doctors in that scenario quite often. But I also had some crazy, crazy roommate situations too, room renter situations. So I don't know. It was about 50-50. Half the time they were really great and awesome, and half the time not so much. You also have to be able to make sure your house is spotless. I mean, spotless. I had one guy complain because there was a spoon in the sink overnight. That was all it took. But I mean, I mopped every single floor every single week. It was just, made sure the whole house got completely done. So I mean, it was a lot of work. I mean, it's not like you can just kind of relax because it's no longer your home. You're sharing it. So yeah, it's a little different. A little different. But yes, Airbnb does that with people. It, again, 50-50 on that one. As far as us in a property management situation, we obviously would not be doing that. We just do whole units. So there's nothing split or shared or anything that we would touch. We do Airbnb, but it's, or short-term rentals, vacation rentals, whatever you want to call them. But it's the entire unit. So one of our agents, Deanna, she actually does whole big old houses, pool homes. They're more of the luxury kind of thing. And then Tristan has like the apartments, duplexes, stuff like that. So I don't know. Both of them seem to enjoy it. So yeah, they do all of that stuff. But just renting out a room, nope. I'd be like, I check on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. In the 55 plus communities, I'd say that's the easiest place just because they have a little information board in the office and they have little index cards. And if you want to lease out a room or whatever, or if you want somebody to stay in your apartment or your house, excuse me, during the winter, you can just put it on one of the little cards, post it on the board, and people will call you that may have stayed in the community before in a different rental, and for some reason they can't, or maybe they're looking for something different or whatever, and they'll contact you. So that's probably the easiest way. So if you're looking to rent a room out from somebody, if you're over the age of 18 and have no kids, then you can rent from somebody in a 55 plus community. There's a fallacy. A lot of people think that they have to be over 55. No, that is actually not true. Only one person normally has to be over 55 that live in a 55 plus community. So, like my husband and I, he's over 55. I am not. Yeah, I'm sure you guys do that, right? So we could live in a 55 plus community, except we have a minor. She is 15, which means we would not be able to live in a 55 plus community because of her. You cannot have anybody under the age of 18 living with you in one of those communities. So in a few years, when she hits 18, we could go ahead and move into a 55 plus community, even having a child at home as long as she's over the age of 18. So, would we? Probably not. Probably not. They have a very different set of rules. And I don't know. If anybody ever came and measured my grass that I pay for with a measuring stick, I would be very not thrilled. So, just no. So my husband probably would love it. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I'm too much of there's a rule bender. I'm not a real breaker, but I will bend the rules. And yeah, people that live in 55 plus communities, I've seen really, really, really love the letter of the law instead of the principle of the law. I'm more of a principle of the law kind of person. But whatever. I've been sitting in this chair too long today. I don't know about, I don't know if you guys know this or not. If you have been on my YouTube channel, you can actually set up a time to chat with me one-on-one right through Calendly. Actually, I can put the link over here. But it actually has access to my calendar. It's my online calendar is Google Calendar. So it doesn't show you like what I'm doing, but it will show you when I'm available. And you can just punch yourself right into my calendar, and it will ask if you want to do a Google Meet, which is the software I use to do like, something like this. Or you can do like, it's kind of like Zoom, it's just through Google. Or you can actually stop in our office or whatever, but it will actually just kind of block out that time specifically for you. We don't have to go back and forth and decide, oh, what day is good for you? I'm available this day. No, you can just be like, that one. And it'll even let you like reschedule it. So I had somebody block out an appointment with me, and then I don't know, about an hour or 2 before the appointment, she was like, "Oh, something came up or whatever," so she rescheduled it for Tuesday. So, yeah, so it's Tuesday coming up. So, I mean, no big deal. You can reschedule, you can do all sorts of stuff. But if you ever did need to know something and you didn't really want to share it in a form like this because it's more private or more detailed or whatever, then you have full access to my calendar. You can more than happily use that. So, just a heads up. Just a heads up in case you are ever interested. You can do that. But I try and leave that in the YouTube channel description at any point. So, but there you go. It's in the notes in the chat. Quick rundown on the Ocala Marion County real estate market. We are still selling like crazy. I actually have Stellar open right now. I can go ahead and pull it. I think it has slowed down just a little bit. Sorry, somebody potential spam was just calling me. Sometimes people will call me and it's a legitimate call, but it still pops up potential spam. So just a heads up, I do normally people will go to voicemail on my phone because I don't know what it is with the spam checker, but it literally pops up potential spam all the time. Or maybe I just get that many spam calls. It is a distinct possibility. All right, so right now we have 252 new listings as of the last 7 days here in Marion County. We have price decreases 289, price increases 40. That's pretty much pretty level. It's a little bit down from what it was in the last few months. It was in the 300s before. We saw it down in the 100s kind of, but I think that was because of Labor Day and the hurricane. Sold, we had 270. So yeah, people are still buying, people are still selling. That's definitely right up there, if not. Okay, pending 266. So yeah, people are still shopping, people are still buying. The houses are moving right along. I think there's more houses hitting the market though than in other areas. Let me do a real quick search. I'm going to say it's probably around 2,500, maybe 2,600 houses currently on the market, but let's look. That has Citrus County. I need just Marion County. Yep, 2,526. I was off by 26 houses. But yeah, it's right up there. So yeah, 2,526 houses are currently listed as available in our MLS here, which sounds like a lot. It is not a lot. It really is not a lot of houses, but it is a lot more than this time last year. So that's good. Um, I think that it's going to be slowing down. I think it's going to pick up again right before the holidays. So right November, we normally are pretty busy. December is normally like really, really high in closings. But that's only because people want to be in their new house before the holidays. So they start going shopping like crazy right mid October. And then the closings happen in December. But January is like not many closings at all. A lot of people shopping, but not many closings. And what that is between Thanksgiving and New Year's, nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to actually like start the process of moving. Nobody wants to go shopping for houses because they're too busy shopping for other things. So you can actually get some pretty good deals if you go shopping online like over Christmas for houses. Nobody is shopping online for houses over Christmas to New Year's. So sometimes houses will come up for auction and stuff, and you can snag a really good deal. So yeah, just a heads up on that one. It's a little secret because not many people, they may be looking around a little bit and dabbling, but nobody wants to be doing that. They've all got other stuff they've got going on. So we're coming into that weird season. Most brokers that I know don't even count November and December or that kind of 8-week time frame into their their analytics and their budget and stuff for the year. It's actually we consider it a 10-month um, selling time frame because those 2 months, it's just no, everybody's got other priorities. They're either going out of town, out of country, they're visiting family, they're shopping like crazy people. They're going to holiday party. They're not looking for a house. Okay. Not looking for a house normally. So right about now, it's like those last minute ones where they're coming in and going, oh, it's almost Christmas. I need to get in a house because none of my relatives are coming to this house. None of them. So some of them are getting them up on the market because they know that slow period is coming up. So they're like, if I want to sell by the end of the year, I need to get it on the market like now, like now. So yeah, we have a lot of listing appointments and stuff going on right now. So, but yeah, short sales are coming back to the market. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's that's different. I haven't seen short sales and foreclosures in quite some time, but they're starting to trickle in. So kind of interesting there. A lot of my agents have been asking for years about short sales, and I'm like, nope, it's just not the market for it. Nope, that's not what you need to focus on. I wouldn't even teach them how to do a contract for it. I was just like, it's just not something you need to learn right now. Now I'm sitting here going, okay, now is when we're going to go ahead and start working on that because we are starting to see some of those. I mean, we've got student loan payments that people haven't been paying in a while, possibly coming up. We had just had a lot of stuff that was deferred. You would think that it would be done being deferred from, quarantine and everything. And no, that's not the case. A lot of things are still deferred till now. So, yeah. Yes, I would say sellers are more open to negotiate. I would say that. Not free. That is not that is not what I'm saying. So some people take that as okay, well, I'm gonna offer $100,000 left for the house. No, no, that's not what I'm saying. But to negotiate, yes, maybe negotiate repairs, negotiate something, take a little bit less. Yes, absolutely. But if I go over, let me go back into there is an actual market report. I gotta think where it is. I think it's stats. There is, yeah, here it is. Okay, so sold price versus list price. So let me go ahead and pull that for residential and for Marion County. I mean, I could do it for everywhere, um, but let's go ahead and pull for Marion County and see what happens. All right. Okay, so I've got charts and graphs. For the data for 2023, yeah. So for September 2023, the houses are being sold at about 99% of the list price. So a little teeny tiny bit of wiggle room, but not huge amounts. That probably there's some contingencies and stuff like that that you could use in there. So that's probably where that's coming from. Back in November of last year, that's really when we saw a lot more, wiggle room because that it was 98.7%. December it was 98.5%. But at the same time, the houses were priced way higher than what they are right now. They're much, much lower than what they were, November of last year. So, yes, they are willing to negotiate, but they have come down considerably on the prices of the house as well. So, just keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Let me see. Historic price trend. There's something I'm looking for. Median. There we go. Like how, where, what, when, why. Okay. Anytime you guys want like any of these stats, I can easily export it and send it over to you. But right now they have a median house price and median days to sell. and they have it all the way back to, well, it looks like 2018. So for September of 2023, because obviously we just came out of September, 29 days on the market, and the median house price is $290,000. If you looked at, let's see, where is it? January, February, March. Looks like February. It was a little bit more time on the market, 39 days on the market, but the median house price was 275,000. So it's actually come up just a hair. Um, let's see, June it was 279. So it's kind of wobbling basically. It's like 1 month it's a little higher, 1 month it's a little lower, but right around 30 days on the market is pretty much the norm. It looks like 31 days, 31 days, 32 days, 29 days. It's right about 30 days on the market. So, so you're not going to get a huge amount off. Pretty much what the list price is the list price. But if you want to negotiate maybe closing costs or something like that, you might be able to get that negotiated in one way or another. So maybe negotiate 4% or something like that. I mean, it just depends. If the house just hit the market yesterday, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But if it's been sitting on the market for over 30 days, yeah, they're going to need to negotiate. They're going to have to. So it really just depends. Every single time is different. Also, if the owner of the property doesn't owe that much money on the property, they're a lot more likely to negotiate than somebody that just bought their house last year and have little to no wiggle room. So just keep that in mind too. Somebody that had a 3% mortgage and now they're going to an 8% mortgage, that's a little bit painful for them. So they're going to be looking at that as a cost to selling their home. So just, I don't know. If you got a good agent, they're going to negotiate for you anyway. So yeah. I'll leave that one alone. Just get a good agent to negotiate on your behalf. So I love my new agents, but they're not quite as fierce sometimes. Sometimes, not always. Some of them are, but sometimes they're not quite as fierce with the negotiations. I love the negotiations personally. That's like my favorite part of the whole thing. I love it when we get down to like, trying to get more money for the contract or less money for the contract or what. I don't know. It doesn't matter whose side I'm on. I'm just, love that. I love that. It's so fun. The best one I ever had was when I had somebody that was telling me that no way would they accept that offer. And I was like, are you absolutely sure? Because I have a check sitting here that has to go to escrow. I just got it today and I have to get it into escrow. So, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and pop it in the shredder. And I turned on the shredder machine so he could hear it in the background. And I was like, yes or no, let me know. And he's like, look, let me just check one last time. And sure enough, they took the offer, which is great because I didn't actually have a check in my hand. I really love doing those. Michael, if you're watching this, I apologize. I did have a check the next day. But yeah, I was like, I got this escrow money. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun doing the negotiation part. It's just fun. It's like playing poker. It's just, yeah. Do I go and like sit and play poker with other people? No, I don't. But I could always bluff my way with my brothers. And that's saying a lot because brothers are hardcore, man. But yeah, I love the negotiation part. But maybe not when I was when I was a new agent. I was shaking in my boots, man. I barely knew how to put my name on a contract. I was so scared. But yeah. Levy says, don't give away your secrets. Don't worry. I won't. I got plenty more where that came from. Don't worry. No, I absolutely, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody could actually hear the sound of a shredder and just think that there's an escrow check going in and be like, "Pff, meh." They can't. They're going to double check. Yeah, that's like playing chicken man, but with an escrow check. You just can't do that. Quite frankly, had he really thought about it, escrow checks wouldn't go in a shredder anyway. They would go back to the buyer. You have to do something with them. They can't just sit, but whatever. It's still fun. No, I love them. I love doing the negotiations. It's fun. But yeah. How is everything going? Well, let me know out there if you guys come up with some stuff that you need best of in Ocala, because I'm definitely going to do restaurants. I think I'm going to do doctor's offices too, because that's one of the main things people ask me about. And there are some different doctors. I used to have one that was more holistic, and I absolutely loved her. She wanted to focus on hormone therapy and stuff, so she couldn't be my primary anymore. So I ended up getting a different doctor who's awesome as well. But there's just different kinds of doctors, and I just really loved having access to all of those. So I don't know. I definitely wanted to provide that information. And I wanted to show some of the cool places that you can go in nearby towns, because if you are from Ocala or you live here in Ocala, you are going to be visiting some of those other towns. It's not a question. You will be going to Gainesville. I don't know that I'm going to go to Orlando, even though we go to Orlando all the time. Not sure if that's going to be one of the ones that I do, just because it's so vast. I don't want it to to overtake everything, but I could give you some really good secrets on Disney. But I have not been there lately, so I might have to rethink that one. Anyway, I am a pro at Disney. I've been going for years and years. So there's some secrets to Disney I can tell you. Um, but yeah, I definitely wanted to show you guys a few things with Gainesville. So I'm going up on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So I'm going to do a few videos up there just to kind of show, if you're in the area or whatever, what is close by to Ocala. A very, very quick, it's about 45 minutes, 30 minutes if you're north of town. And you can easily have access to all of that, which I know if you live in Orlando, 35, 40 minutes, that's only about 5-10 miles down the road, depending on if you got to deal with I-4. So yeah, for us, we're like, it's 45 minutes, man. You better make it worth it if you're going up there. But no, there's just some restaurants that are great that we don't have here in Ocala. It's just something different. There's some shopping, there's some hospitals, there's some other stuff that is just all stuff that we don't necessarily have here. But I will say we are getting Shands, UF Shands is coming to Ocala. They're actually building uh, two facilities here. So there's going to be an ER small hospital that's actually going to be completed soon. I'm thinking maybe latest spring. But that is actually 3 stories. It's they've been working on that one for a bit. And then they're also doing one over in the World Equestrian Center. And man, I need to do an updated video on the World Equestrian Center. Have you guys been over there lately? Wow. We went over there this weekend for a home and garden show. And it's just, man, every time I turn around, they've got something else they're building or doing new, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So my husband was like, "Hey, do you want to grab something to eat while we're over here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of wanted to try the Mexican place that I've heard about." We went in there; it was very similar to like Chipotle, but I have to say the food was actually a little bit better. Don't hate me. It was really, really, really good. It was really good flavor to like the chicken and stuff. So really, really good. I think it was called Philos, something like that. Uh, but yeah, man, it is just growing like crazy. There's building all over the place. They've got the whole nother hotel out there. I mean, it is huge. And it's just growing and growing. So yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, I did a video when it first kind of was just beginning the ending of phase one, and I think they're into phase two now. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It has the Equestrian Hotel, which is amazing. They're doing 80,000 square feet of retail space they're building. They're building a small hospital through Shands. Shands is University of Florida Teaching Hospital. It's a massive hospital and it's absolutely amazing. Everybody loves because they'll do stuff that's out of the norm. It's a teaching hospital. So they'll do I don't know, like if you wanted to give birth and you've had a cesarean section, but you want to have vaginal birth, so they call it a VBAC, you're gonna go to Shands. They're VBAC friendly up there. So stuff, stuff that's just a little bit more complicated. They're not gonna necessarily do that at the hospitals here in Ocala, but they will definitely do it up there. They're like, bring it. So anything that's just a little, it needs a specialty or it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more risky, that's all going to be up at Shands. So just really, really interesting. And then they have a whole Shands hospital that's for pediatric. So, it's, I don't know if down here, yeah, your kid's going to get basic emergency services, but if it's just a little step more complicated, you're going to Shands, not a question. Well, load them up, send them out. So yeah, to have that a little bit more accessible here in Ocala is wonderful. So yeah, they're going to have that over at the World Equestrian Center, and I think they already have some because they have UF hospital also does UF does veterinary. They do dental. It's weird putting both of those together, but they do have veterinary services down here because again, teaching, they have a veterinary system up there. So they have dental that's phenomenal. So I don't know, and it's all pretty low cost. So anyway, but yeah. But yeah, the World Equestrian Center, I definitely am going to need to do an updated video on. I went out there and I'm just like, oh man, I blinked. I blinked. That's all that happened. And this place is twice as big. So, and then they bought the Ocala Jockey Club. So I don't know how they're going to try and mesh those two together because they're a pretty good distance apart. So I don't know, but apparently they wanted to have their own polo grounds and jockey club and all of that. That's part of the World Equestrian Center. So man, it's going to be huge, like absolutely huge. So I can't even fathom how big that will be in 5 to 10 years. It's just mind boggling. It really is. Um, Even when they first said that they were doing all of this stuff, we're like, really? Like, who thought this up? Who had the vision for all of this? But it's absolutely amazing. So we're so fortunate to have all of that. So uh, yeah, if you wanted to see horse shows or jumping or Paso Fino or whatever, it's great. I mean, you can just show up and watch all this stuff, and it's just so cool. So cool. I always like watching the jumping. I always think that the people are going to fall off the horse. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but I just love watching them jump. I'm like on the edge of my seat, just like they're gonna fall. They're gonna every every time. So the whole time I'm just sitting there, just one of these days I'm actually going to see somebody fall, but that's probably why they have the Shands Hospital there is for all the people that do fall off their horse during practices or whatever. But whatever. Well, I think that is just about it for me. I have been on here taking up your time for almost exactly an hour. So thank you for all of those that hung out with me. I appreciate it. Carrie and Levy, thank you so much for joining in the chat and actually making comments. I appreciate it. I really love it when you guys talk back and forth. So I know what you're thinking. So yeah. So I know somebody's out there and I'm not just talking to a screen. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic night. If there's anything that you are curious about or have questions about or anything like that, I would be more than happy to answer your questions. I do have my Calendly in the group chat. So if you want to add something there, that's fine. You can go ahead and add yourself to my calendar. It will literally show you exactly where I'm available, and you can kind of go from there. Or I'm going to go ahead and put my email address right here if it will let me. And you can go ahead and send me an email if you just have a specific question or if you want a specific video. I am working on some new ones so that you guys can have some new content, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.